The older people around us have often spent their lives in ways that serve us all. They have invested their lives as firefighters, nurses, pastors, teachers, small business owners, parents, grandparents, neighbors, and friends. Their lives have made a difference for us all as they have been there for us in big and small ways. Just because people grow older doesn't mean they don't want their lives to still matter. However, we have often not provided very good options for helping them make the most of the final years of their lives. Too often, when an older person hits a bump in the road, such as an injury or illness, many people simply write them off as over the hill, assuming this is the beginning of the end. We do not have the kinds of resources and support widely available that can help older people bounce back from their infirmities and reclaim their lives. This is especially true if they have limited financial resources to work with. Did you know that only about 13% of the elder population can currently afford assisted living care? Only about 14% can afford 4 hours of in-home care. If a nursing home becomes their only option, 63% must depend on Medicaid to pay for it, and that coverage has become difficult to count on as needs increase. It is estimated that 1 in 5 older adults has no retirement income. In 2026, the first of approximately 76 million baby boomers turn 80 years old, an average of 10,000 per day, dramatically increasing the need for elder services, often with limited ability to pay for it. At the same time, those who serve seniors in senior living settings and in-home care providers are facing significant challenges. Operating costs are increasing as supplies, food, utilities, transportation, and staffing costs go up. For assisted living communities, the marketing costs may run as high as $20,000 a month just to try to keep the facility full. When the average assisted living resident only stays 22 months before having to move to a higher level of care, marketing efforts must be constant and intense. Residents who go out to a hospital or rehab center often are unlikely to return. Additionally, there is a high level of staff burnout, with resulting high staff turnover rates. As costs of operating senior services rise, fewer and fewer seniors will be able to afford services. Against this backdrop of issues for seniors and those who serve them, there is good news. New models of senior living, senior care, and assisted living in particular are emerging and providing a promising new direction. To understand this new approach, we begin with the fact that seniors want to be able to continue to fully live life, contributing in big and small ways. A John A. Hartford Foundation 2024 survey found that there is a high level of dissatisfaction among older adults about the types of senior services currently available. Current services fail to understand how they want to live as they age. They want programs to help them increase their independence and well-being, enabling them to continue to fully live life. Senior Housing News describes the new senior demographic as much less like the old stereotype of older person, and more like the people we all work with and socialize with. They want a partnership where they work to maximize a full and meaningful life, rather than the stereotype of old person with a few activities to keep them busy. That partnership for reclaiming a full and meaningful life is emerging as the new direction for senior services. It provides a win-win for both seniors and the senior organizations that serve them. It is based on a simple concept: replace traditional custodial care with integrated restorative care. Custodial care identifies what a senior is having difficulty with and then has someone do it for them. Integrated restorative care, with the input of the senior, determines what they are having trouble doing and helps them regain the ability to do as much for themselves as possible. This is done by improving their abilities, working with rehab therapists when needed. Additionally, it involves finding alternative ways to successfully be able to do tasks, ways to use assistive devices to make it easier, or technology to take over some of the work. This restorative approach is integrated into all aspects of the senior's personal care and community involvement. The seniors are helped to increasingly do more and more for themselves. Here is an example of how it works. If a senior is having difficulty dressing herself, custodial care simply starts dressing her. The concept "use it or lose it" is true, and very rapidly, she reaches a point where she can no longer dress herself at all. This begins to interfere with her being able to handle her clothing when toileting, causing her to need even more help. By contrast, an integrated restorative care approach starts by assessing why he is having trouble. It may be limited upper body strength, fine motor coordination problems, and difficulty reaching his lower body. Physical and occupational therapy can then begin working on these issues. Nurses and care assistants encourage him to do all he can for himself, supplementing only what he can't do. Team members search for ways to simplify the tasks so that the resident can do more for himself. Buttons are replaced with Velcro fasteners, and slip-on shoes replace those he had to tie. A reacher and dressing stick are introduced to help him make lower body dressing easier. Clothing is moved so that it is in drawers next to his bed and easier for him to reach. Activities in the community encourage craft work that increases fine motor strength and coordination, and an exercise class builds upper body strength. All of these strategies, working together with the resident's ideas, move him toward greatly improved functional independence and less risk of needing a higher level of care or even the potential for living more independently. It is important for restorative care to be integrated into all areas. This is why it is referred to as integrated restorative care. Researchers have found that if a senior is receiving physical or occupational therapy, the results will be negated if caregivers are using custodial care strategies. If caregivers are doing for the senior instead of working with the team on restorative strategies, the potential of the efforts will be lost. Integrated restorative care uses approaches that help improve functioning and are easily integrated into nursing care, personal care, activities of daily living, recreational activities, dining, as well as rehab therapies. The Bounce Back Beds project is a staff training program to help assisted living communities switch from a custodial care approach to integrated restorative care. This enables seniors to be able to work on rebuilding their functional independence, reclaiming their lives when they hit an obstacle of some kind. Residents of assisted living are more likely to be able to live out their lives in that setting, with the average length of stay for those with an integrated restorative care program being 7.5 years compared to 22 months for custodial care. This is a win for seniors as well as senior communities, where there is greater census stability and lower marketing and turnover costs. Integrated restorative care introduces a valuable opportunity for assisted living communities to offer short-term stays, typically lasting 3 to 4 months, designed to help seniors bounce back to independent living. This approach opens a new market niche in senior living by making care accessible to individuals who may not be able to afford long-term assisted living. In fact, while only 13% of seniors can afford extended stays, it's estimated that up to 50% could manage the cost of a short-term program. As a result, the potential market for senior living services expands significantly. Additionally, with a Bounce Back Beds program in place, residents are less likely to require hospitalization and more likely to return to the community, thanks to the availability of targeted, restorative support. The Bounce Back Beds program is a staff training and education program that easily enables assisted living staff members to learn the strategies needed to provide restorative care that is fully integrated into all daily activities. This training helps staff have a renewed sense of purpose and satisfaction as they learn new skills. This helps reduce staff turnover as they see new meaning and purpose in their own jobs. Bounce Back Beds training is made possible through a grant provided by the Tennessee Department of Health Resiliency Program. Bounce Back Beds project staff provide ongoing support to help assure implementation success. The restorative care movement is growing rapidly in senior care. It is estimated that in the last 5 years, 71% of assisted living communities have added on-site physical, occupational, and speech therapy to their services, working with private individuals and therapy companies. 55% reportedly partner with mental health and counseling professionals. This provides a strong resource foundation for then integrating restorative care principles into all services. The Bounce Back Beds project makes that service expansion easy, maximizing successful outcomes for both the resident and the senior community. Senior services have changed for the better through the years. From the almshouses for poor seniors in the 1700s to the 1800s homes for the aged, where 30 to 50 seniors lived together and shared meals. The services have changed further from the early nursing homes of the 1940s and 50s, with 4 or 5 person wards, to the beginning of assisted living as we now know it in the 1980s. The future is bright for everyone, as seniors are helped to actually maximize their potential using integrated restorative care, helps seniors be able to fully live life. It also helps senior communities and other senior services have the tools they need for a bright, successful future.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shore.